you know, Oscar's he's got the task, the responsibility of trying to, you know, Oscars used to be fine, man. Oscars used to be something that everybody used to watch as an event. It used to define our culture. But these damn kids today, with the short attention spans and the YouTubes and the streaming, and, you know, it just changed the way people are watching things. Y'all can't pay attention for more than 2 seconds on anything, including these awards right here. You too long. 3 hours, man. I can't watch that bullshit. Oh, you too old. You know, bringing all these people on here to host that my grandmama like. I don't know nothing about this.
But can't they watch PewDiePie and 8-Bit Ninja for hours and hours and hours?
Yeah, you know, maybe she get them to host Oscars. PewDiePie. Hello, everybody. PewDiePie.
I cannot wait to help my people out. Happy Black History Month. Thank you.
Make a look at the prices at dtmerch.com and say, man, that's not so bad.
we gave you money off.
Get these shirts. They're not too expensive, man. Oh, that baby. Look at
Baby.
Oh, well, go ahead and get these cheap shirts right here, man, on dtmerch.com. We're not going to price gouge you. We're definitely going to be reasonable with you. We're going to keep that way on the shirt of the month with Kung Fu TJ. Got the backpacks. We got phone covers and, of course, the gift of choice and more. I'm not going to make a big deal out of it. I'm just going to let you know that, hey, seriously, we do get by with your support, and thank you very much. We are grateful for you. We get by with your subscriptions mostly. I mean, we're making money in some other places, but ain't nothing like the support that you give us out there. So please continue to do that by subscribing to doubletoasted.com. What do you do? Everything's just, the Oscars, everything just changing so fast, so quickly. I don't know what to do. And that's what we've seen with this, man. You know, with the Oscars, man, can't sneeze without controversy going on with Oscars right now, the Academy Awards. And, you know, and there is a lot of controversy going on. And then when I say they can't get anything right, they can't get anything right at all, man. Oscar's too white. Oscar is too male. Oscar's too long. You know, you endorse child molesters. You know what I mean? What are you to do, man? What can Oscar do? And it's not like the Academy Awards has not tried to actually go in and solve the problem. But every time they do, something else happens. You know, they say, okay, we're too old finally. Let's go ahead and get somebody out there who's young. You know, we've done it before in the past, hit or miss results, but I think we got somebody right now. Everybody loves Kevin Hart. Mm-hmm. Everybody loves Kevin Hart, but got that one hipster. He made a gay joke. What are you, a homophobe? You know, God damn it. All right, fine. You know, you want it like that? We just ain't gonna have no host.
No host at all.
No host at all. You know, you
Robo
don't
host.
Good, you fucked it up. Ain't nobody gonna host this at all. That is too long, man. So they were talking about getting rid of some of the categories out there. Now, the categories that they were talking about getting rid of, they were talking about best cinematography. They were talking about best editing, best hairstyling and makeup, and best live action short. And they said, you know something, y'all don't care about nothing anyway but blockbusters and celebrities. Don't nobody care about these little rinky-dink ass categories right here. You get out. There, you find it's short.
If it was something I was going to take out, it'd be sound editing.
Yeah, no, well, they be mad about that too.
Yeah, well.
And that's the thing that happened. Yeah, you leave the moment they're about to shut the door. Oh, now they pissed off the insiders. You know, it's one thing to piss off the audience and piss off the public, the common people. But once you piss off them insiders, man, well, that's when they start petitions with a lot of big names on it. And when you get petitions with people like Spike Lee and Quentin Tarantino on there and the other big names, you better put that shit back in. When they tried to take those categories out in order to pull back on the time with the Oscars, a lot of directors, a lot of insiders were very upset about that. And here it is. Public petition urging Academy to present all 24 Oscar categories soars past 14,000 signatures. Now, maybe that doesn't seem like a lot, but with those names on there, the weight that they carry, yeah, that's a heavy petition right there. And because of the names and influence that were on there, of course, they put all those back in. Put them right back in. They barely had them off the shelf. So Quentin Tarantino, hey man, put that right back.
Sure.
You know, they
And say, "Why? We were just thinking about it."
oh no, they were doing it.
I'm sure they were.
It's about the movies, man. You're removing. I mean, like best cinematography.
Yeah, those they talked about removing. I would be against that.
Yeah,
But I'm always confused by the difference between best sound and best sound editing.
and I'm even yeah. I mean, I was thinking about like I got nothing. Shit, it's all bangs and zoops to me. But it's important to somebody. The one I couldn't figure out was you're gonna take out live action short and leave the animated shorts in.
Right.
You mean the cartoons got more importance than me? I thought it was a bad move because it's about the filmmaking.
Right.
It's and especially with things like I think best live action short should be in there because that shows the inspiration behind filmmaking itself, because it's not like the big movies. Making a live action short is hard, and a lot of times that doesn't get a lot of attention, especially these days.
Sure.
With the art house movies, our theaters not as abundant as they used to be. With again streaming what it is, like they actually reserve screenings for that for a lot of things for home. Some places might do a special screening for.
Yeah, there seems to be a bunch of theaters. Well, you know, we live in a town where they do that. I'm sure there's plenty of small towns where they don't even bother.
Exactly. Like cinematography, best editing, those are things that play an important role
Yeah.
in making a movie, and that's an insult to pull that out, in my humble opinion. Now, you would think that with all these dumb decisions that they've been making and been getting their ass chewed out for, you think that they would stop. You think that they're like, all right, you know, let me think this out carefully. No, it's still going because they.
What if? Not. Okay.
Oh, Martin, if only they would have stopped there. What if? No, wait, hear me out. What if the Avengers were the host?
Seriously?
They're talking about bringing out the actors who make up the Avengers, man. They're thinking about bringing them out to do some of it. I say let them do it and let Loki fuck up the whole night.
Man,
you know,
all right. You know what? You win. It's got to be the Muppets.
I mean, at this point, man, if you're doing that, yeah, get the Muppets out there, let them do it. Why are you doing this? Yeah. Now, it's just a thought. I don't know if
I
they'll
worked
go.
in this industry for 40 years, and I finally got my reward given to me by a hand puppet. That's all.
They would do a better job than some of these flesh and blood motherfuckers out there. Because I mean, I've seen more life in these damn puppets than I've seen in some of these people that actually host these shows.
Right.
And if y'all want to go as far as the Avengers, do it this year. This is the year.
While they're still around.
While they're still around. Now, it might be a rumor because they're talking about it. They're not going to dress them up. I wish they would, though. But they're talking about just the actors. Just, and hey, you know something? At this point, I'm with it, man. I'm with it. Because it's probably going to be better than having no host, because the last time they did not have a host was 1989.
Oh, they did it before.
They've done it one time before. And I don't know, maybe not one time before, but the last time that they did not have a host was 1989. When they didn't have a host, at that time, that's when this monstrosity happened.
Oh,
Used to work a lot for Walt Disney.
Too grumpy and sleepy.
So y'all thinking, if you listen, you're thinking, who let this homeless dude in the thing? That's Rob Lowe.
Oh, so he wasn't the host.
There was no host.
Oh.
What this is considered to be the worst musical number ever at the Oscars back in 1989. It was so bad because what they did was they brought Rob Lowe out because he was trying to improve his self-image.
Yeah.
They were trying to do some big honor of Hollywood, old Hollywood. Like Roy Rogers, I think, was out there and some other people. And for some reason, they brought Snow White in, who was like trying to find, her way back to Hollywood or something. It was so bad that it ruined this girl's career. This girl, to this day, I don't think she's shown her face back in Hollywood.
Oh.
Yeah, she had just got in. This was her big break. I think she just got off the Greyhound bus. She's applying at Denny's or something, and they said, you got to look, and she auditioned as Snow White, and it was supposed to be a big break for her. It was a disaster. That guy who produced this, there was a bunch of people there, but that 11 minutes destroyed his career too. They said, you will never set foot on the Oscars ever again. What
were you thinking?
It's notoriously bad. It's 11 minutes long, and you need to see this. I mean, just the way it even started. From the moment they started, it's like, oh my God, what are you doing? Don't do this.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, here's one of the great legends of Hollywood. She's back with us tonight, Miss Snow White.
Hollywood stars? Oh!
If that ain't an argument for diversity, I don't know what it is. That was, yeah, it is. It's a challenge. The biggest casualty is that poor girl, man, who played Snow White, who played Snow White. Like I don't know if she ever went back to Hollywood, but she said that I just never wanted to go back after that. Aww. She said the next day people were like making fun of me, or they were calling me up to tell me that, it's okay.
Oh, for real?
Yeah, I think she got a call from, I forgot, maybe Tom Hanks or somebody, but they were trying to console her, man, because everybody knew. They're like, oh my God, this poor girl, she didn't sign up for this. She thought this is gonna be something completely different.
That's so sad.
It is, man. The story about that is, you need to look at the story behind that. It's amazing. That's another story for another day. We've talked about it before, actually.
Right.
I'm not gonna get into it, but you need to look up this story, man. It's one of the biggest Hollywood tragedies I've ever heard. The Oscars are so confused at this point. They have no direction on what they want to do. They know what they have to do. They got to get a younger audience in. They got to make it a little more relevant. Mm-hmm. They just don't know how. And they've had a lot of mistakes and missteps on trying to achieve that. And now people have seen so many bad Oscar shows, we watch them just to fuck up. Because it was like, well, we know we don't get nothing good. So, we're going to sit through, if we have to sit through this, we're going to be sitting through 3 hours of an outdated format. When people watch it now, they watch people to mess up stuff. They watch it to see this.
This is not a joke. Moonlight has won Best Picture.
Motherfucker. You see how he snatched that? He was mad because he's like, bitch, you made me think I won.
Right.
This is when Warren Beatty was caught flack and caught the blame for announcing La La Land as the winner in the 2017 Academy Awards when it was actually Moonlight.
Yeah.
And that dude, I think he's the producer, he was pissed.
He was pissed.
he was he handled it well. He's like, look, I'm gonna be a gracious loser, but fuck you, man. Right. You see the way he snatched that out of his hand?
Shaking. His hand was shaking. He's so full of rage.
I'm sorry.
He was at a bar later. That fucking Warren Beatty, asshole.
It wasn't really his fault.
It really was not. You could even try to. Warren Beatty he took a hit, man. He was like that what's her name left his ass high and dry.
Faye Dunaway.
Faye Dunaway. Yeah. She read that shit like, fuck you. She's like, I know this is fucked up. I'm not catching this.
He stepped up and tried to take the blame for him.
He really did.
But so much came down on him. He was like, hey, listen, this was her.
He didn't even blame it on her. He tried to,
ultimately it wasn't even her fault.
Like even Jimmy Kimmel came out. Warren, what did you do?
This is very unfortunate what happened.
I'm going to be really proud to hand this to my friends from Moonlight.
He handled that well.
He's still pissed.
But he is mad.
He's mad.
He ain't mad at Moonlight people. He's like, y'all deserve it. Look, I'm going to be cool about this, but goddamn.
You made us get up here and celebrate like a bunch of fools.
Yeah.
I opened the envelope, and it said, Emma Stone, La La Land. That's why I took such a long look at Faye. And that
bitch didn't do nothing. He had the wrong envelope, man. It really was an accident. He had the wrong envelope.
It was negligence and incompetence on the part of the person who handed out the envelopes.
Who was back there
tweeting,
looking at tweets. Yeah.
Taking photos.
Yeah, taking photos. And that dude, that's another one that was fired. They fired his ass the next day.
Hell yeah, they did.
Here's a tweet. Hey, look at your tweet. I just sent you one. You're fired.
Okay, so when La La Land got announced, You think the people from Moonlight were over there like, Psh, see, I told you these white people, they got this shit rigged. How white bread of a choice is that? I told y'all we ain't have a chance.
Yeah. Yeah, no, you know they were there. Fucking white people. Oh, hey! Thank you! Just want to say I love Whitey. They're going through some growing pains right now, really. I think at some point they're going to hit what they need to hit. You know, I know we get moments like this and they're fun, but change is happening quick. This leads to a format that needs a serious overhaul. It's an overhaul they don't know how to do. If you're going to try some things and they're going to have to push a little bit further. They just got to be smarter about these changes that they make, the pushes that they're going for. I think that
that change in viewing habits, that's a big deal.
It is,
because prior to social media, the Oscars came on, and you either watched it, or you read about some highlights in the newspaper, or somebody you knew watched it and told you about it.
Yeah,
that's it. Now these kind of fuck ups and things, they're everywhere. So you don't have to watch the show. You can wait till the next day.
Somebody, Chris Herman, I was talking to him last night. He made a recommendation saying, man, maybe they should just stream it. Or go ahead and just stream it for free at the same time you got it on TV. So you got the legacy people you can appeal to, but also the people who are going to watch it online and do something else, or even those that are going to watch it the next day. Just stream it, man. Don't be afraid to do that. I know you're afraid of ratings, but that might be one of the first steps to do that.
Oh, yeah.
Let's just count that as number one.
Yeah.
The highlights are going to get out, and they try to look. The Academy Awards, they sweep the internet to take things off.
Do they?
They do. There's some things you just cannot find, man. Let's just say that, man. Maybe they should just experiment with how on how the content's distributed. Maybe streaming online would not be a bad idea.
Sure.
Things are shifting towards online anyway. Your younger audience is not watching television that much. Now, we do have Oscar parties. When I'm saying we, I'm talking about, I go to a lot of Oscar parties. We sit here and do this thing here and whatnot. So, but a lot of your young audiences, man, they just doing it like with the Super Bowl. They go to Oscar parties just because it's a party.
Right.
And nobody's really paying that much attention. They just do it because it gives them a reason to drink and together and eat snacks and whatnot. But really, the habits of people watching stuff online more. I mean, you guys are younger. I mean, look like this fool over here. He can't even watch a show without having another screen in his hand. So you guys see, but you know what I'm saying? You guys watch stuff online mostly, right? Yeah, so it's all of it. But here's another way, since we're on the subject of fixing the Oscars now, that's one, which counted as number one. Let's go to number two right here. A problem with the Oscars is they just don't have a good group of writers to come in and write for the whole show.
Sure.
If you brought in some writers to write for the whole program, to produce the whole program, you would have, I believe, a more cohesive product at the end. Now, that doesn't mean that you can just bring anybody in. It's a really tricky thing to do. You need to bring in somebody who is younger, but knows how to appeal to audiences of all kinds. Also,
who's an example of that?
Well, I'll give you one, because you also have to get people who know actors and Hollywood producers and directors. They know Hollywood talent, so they know not to cross the line with them. They know just about where to hit with the humor. They know when to pull back and let the accolades speak for themselves, like the nominees speak for themselves. When times need to be serious, let that speak for itself. Imagine if you brought in somebody who knew how to entertain audiences of different demographics, like Phil Lord and Chris Miller.
Okay.
Imagine if you brought them in to do a whole show, especially if you look at something like the Lego Movie and whatnot, where they even knew how to handle like musical numbers and such. I think having those guys come in, and they have a great track record. Well, I mean, what do you think? I would love, I would even love to see what they bring in with somebody who's beginning to show that they're writing talents. I would love to see what Jordan Peele would do. Jordan Peele does not do just race humor, or race issues.
Yeah.
He's producing like the Twilight Zone now.
Yeah.
Imagine if you brought a new talent in to come in, but he also knows comedy.
Yeah.
Now you got a guy who's writing comedy, making movies, making horror movies with social issues. He's doing sci-fi anthologies. Bring in somebody like that whose sensibilities are all over the place, and he's worked with Hollywood people before.
Okay. That's definitely a better idea than what they have. Just because, as you say, it'd be more cohesive. It's just finding somebody who's going to strike that right balance that you're talking about, who also wants to do it.
But the idea's out there.
Yes.
Look, if the idea's there, you'll find somebody. Imagine, I know the show's not on anymore, but But imagine if the writers and producers of 30 Rock
Sure.
did the Academy Awards. I mean, you would have something that was so balanced. Everything, nothing seems like it's trying too hard. They get the audiences. They're up with the times.
Yeah.
That's what's going to have to happen, man. You just see it needs more cohesiveness. Bring on your host and make sure you know your host well. But that's always been a suggestion. Know your host. Bring on somebody that might be younger and bring them on to to appeal to the younger crowd. But don't just bring them on and let them do what they want to do. Which is why you need a cohesive team of writers and producers, probably the same people.
Well, somebody that the host works with, because you don't want your host to do whatever they want to do. At the same time, you don't want to write stuff that your host isn't familiar or comfortable with.
Well, no, that's why a producer should work with the host and not for the host.
Right.
That has been a disaster a lot lately. That's the reason why I had a problem with Chris Rock. Because Chris Rock's humor, not that Chris Rock can't entertain, but Chris Rock's humor sometimes deviated away too much from the Oscars. I think he did stuff like, he did skits and whatnot that were more like, that's for like Black Twitter or something. It ain't really for the Oscars.
To help my people out. Happy Black History Month. Thank you.
Okay, here's everything that's wrong with that. What he said, that joke is a one-liner. You say it as Miss Stacey Dash, and then you move on to the next joke. You don't stop and then have to wait for her to come out and not have a follow-up punchline and walk off.
The joke wouldn't have worked anyway, though.
No, that's one of those throwaway jokes. You have it in there, the first Miss Stacey Dash, and then you move on to something else.
My thing is, how about you have some producers and writers like that joke's not gonna work, Chris? Stop. All right, so put this shit on. Look, if you at the BET Awards, fine. You do that there. But if you at the Oscars, there should have been a producer and writers to say, that's not gonna work, man. Seth MacFarlane came out one year and did a whole musical number that people like, man, what you thinking of?
We saw your boobs. We saw your boobs. In the movie that we saw your boobs. Naomi Watson, Mulholland Drive.
That dude looking right there.
I know that. I know that dude is like, yeah, I remember those. Yeah. He's like, you sure this show?
Something right there. Huh?
A lot of people out there, they're catching hell over a sexist tweet. This fool did a whole musical number. Because that's what it was. It was kind of like all these women were like, yeah, man, I showed my boobs, and it wasn't like I was in some goddamn slasher film or something. I was in a highly praised drama.
That's the joke of it.
Yeah, but it was a joke that you could not get away with that today. Well, that's the best thing about that is that you get to see just how quickly times have changed.
Yeah, true.
Neil Patrick Harris, people like, oh, he's gonna kill it, man. The moment he stepped out, he was already fucking up.
Welcome to the 87th Oscars. Tonight we honor Hollywood's best and brightest.
Now that was all right. It was.
Come on, that wasn't funny.
It was, a lot of people just at that time, a lot of people, and to me it was funny, but a lot of people said, man, there wasn't a lot of context to some of the stuff that he was doing.
An accomplished magician.
Oh, yeah.
And he just doesn't get a chance to do that much. So since he wasn't tied down to a sitcom, he had a little while. He was breaking that out on every place I would see him.
I know, because he was on Ellen and all these other places. It got to the point of like, man, keep them cards down. Yeah. Don't bring that shit in here. Right. Kind of whatever rabbit you got up your ass or whatever, don't bring that in here.
Yeah, it's like magic is not as fun as you think it is.
But the Oscars, he tried to apply it at the Oscars, and it just did not work. The problem was it was a running joke.
Yeah.
But they were like, hey, it's Neil Patrick Harris. He's the guy who hosts a lot of shows. Just let him do what he wants to do. You need to have, you can't let these hosts have carte blanche when they're there. You need to have, that's why it's important to have a director, producer, and a group of writers who are overseeing everything on this. And here's number 4, man. Stop pairing up people who have no chemistry.
Oh, of course.
Test them out beforehand. Let them go to a hotel and get drunk together or something. Let them spend a night together or some shit. That goes for both. First of all, the presenters. The presenters, that's the worst area because these people. I tried to find some on the internet. You cannot find some of the worst presenters at the Academy Awards.
Oh, those always seem like afterthoughts.
Yeah, but it's almost like, man, you know what? I feel like if you just had one presenter who really knows what they're doing. If you have two, if they really have some history or chemistry together.
Right.
But one presenter. Bring Tom Hanks up there to present an award. He can charm everybody. Everything's fine. Get Denzel up there.
Yeah.
You know, Kevin Hart, if he has to present, he can crack a joke. He knows what he's doing. Kermit the Frog. You know, all these people. Or if you got two people together, just make sure, damn well make sure that they know how to work together, because it's one thing to even have it done with just a few minutes of presenting an award. I remember the year they tried to force that, again, to appeal to the kids, with Anne Hathaway and James Franco. And I feel so bad for Anne Hathaway, because James Franco got high as, he didn't give a fuck. He got high as hell backstage. He contacted his weed dealer before he ever got out there. And he was so bad. Both of the material was awkward. It was badly written material for them. And plus they tried to ad-lib a few of it. It was bad, but he was giving her nothing.
Oh my gosh, you're all real.
Wow.
This is actually happening. Okay. Hello, and welcome.
Eyes just as red.
Yeah.
Brother, at least be professional enough to put some Visine in there or something.
And it's very exciting for both of us because we're both nominated.
No, it ain't, bro.
Yeah,
No,
that's exciting for you.
He just baked some weed brownies and ate the whole pan and came out to decide to do this.
Oh.
I mean, come on, man. High as fuck. I mean, that is.
The girl's working her heart out.
She is trying. She's trying to have enough energy for both him and her. Her ass just broke down. She just got wore out halfway through.
Actually, James, I'm not nominated tonight.
Come on, Ann, don't be so modest.
You know.
All right.
There was a line.
I know.
There was a line there. Then he did not. Wow, this shit's just kicking in now. First of all, it was a bad idea to have them together anyway. And second of all, you know, I mean, this is when Seth Rogen and James Franco were telling people, yeah, we're potheads, man. We stay fucked up. You gonna try to get me to host the Academy Awards? Yeah, they would have been off. They would have been better off getting his weed dealer to host this.
And the two of them, it looked like him and
Anne Hathaway.
Anne Hathaway, thank you. Like they just met 2 days ago.
Yeah. Well, his mental state right now, he ain't met her yet. Who's this
talking bird?
I tell you, I'm gonna leave those dances alone. I ain't messing with those dances.
Hey man, listen. If like I said, I'm not crazy about him, and it would shorten the show. However, just because it's something I don't like doesn't mean it needs to go away.
Well, they don't do dance numbers that much.
They don't.
And as I said, if an overwhelming amount of feedback is people tune out, they don't watch this. You know, Oscars are a business. And if you're trying to improve your business and an overwhelming number of people tune out at a certain point, you might have to take that out. Or not even take it out, but maybe just don't do it as often. I think the opening numbers, they don't need to do all the time.
No.
If you have
shorten them.
Or shorten them. Would you be willing to say maybe some years do them, and then maybe some years just take them out if you have nothing?
Oh yeah, if you got nothing, absolutely take them out. But I'm all for doing shortened versions of them.
Yeah.
People expect them, but if it's short, I think nobody would. Not only would no one complain, they wouldn't even notice.
That is true. I'm willing for that compromise too. Just make them shorter, man. Because sometimes you get a host, and the host likes to sing and dance, and they just let this host go all night.
Yeah.
I remember one that it was cute at first, and then he just kept going and going.
My Batmobile took longer than I thought to design. The reader.
That's Hugh Jackman, man. 2009.
Yeah.
When he was hosting, I was like, yeah, that started out okay.
Yeah.
Not even good. It started okay. By the time we got to this point,
I know I need to see the reader.
I'm like, get the fuck out of here, man. Even he started laughing like, this is bullshit. He's like, y'all gonna stop the music anytime soon?
I know I need to see the reader.
You know this is bullshit.
My Batmobiles are longer than I thought to design. What?
That didn't make no sense, man.
Yeah.
I think he was ad-libbing at that point. I think he forgot the words and just started putting stuff. He's like, he forgot what superhero he was. Yo, Wolverine. Why Wolverine's thinking about Batman?
I even went down to the theater, but there was a line of all the people watching Iron Man a second time.
Okay, I don't know what the fuck was going on at that point.
Wow. Yeah, just rub it in your face. I went to the theater, but everybody's in line to see Iron Man.
You know, I was
a second time.
Yeah. You must have came out talking about Reader. Fuck the Reader.
Nobody wants to see that shit. The Reader.
Nobody watched that shit anyway. If you want to do musical numbers, I think keep them down to the musical performances for the nominees, like for best song.
Sure. Yes.
Yeah, because this year, especially this year, a lot of musical nominees, man. They got definitely got to have Lady Gaga come out and perform. I think, of course, you should have her come out and do that. That's what I think the musical numbers should.
Did it win a Grammy?
To.
Did it win a Grammy?
I don't know. Did it? Jesse said yes. Those are my recommendations. Nothing too drastic. It's just some nips and tucks here and there, and just bringing in a team of people who can like kind of direct, guide and direct us a little bit more. What do you think?
Well, when you text me, you talk about the controversies, which I was like, man, with controversies, I don't know what you could do other than have somebody who is Teflon, no scandals whatsoever. People love, say, a Tom Hanks.
Yeah, why haven't they got him to host?
I don't know. Maybe he's just like, I don't want to do that.
Yeah, that's true.
But even if, having him host, I think would be great, especially if he was to just walk out the beginning of the show, give like a big apology about, hey, listen, this is the thing, and our industry has had these problems, and all this, we acknowledge it, and we are all trying to do better, and please bear with us because steps are being taken, Me Too and all this, and we know, and just forgive us and let us do this thing, and we're all working to make this a better workplace for everyone and all for equality. Now, is everybody ready to have some fun?
Yeah.
Get on with it.
And I used to think, all right, when they first started doing it, all right, you got something to say. That's kind of cool. But everybody started turning that into a little fashion trend too.
Yeah, yeah. And some years they'll be talking about something and everybody's like, what the fuck? Like when Frances McDormand won, and I forgot the thing she said, and I got one word for you. There was something, and it's an industry term. And anybody who's not in the industry was going, what is that? What is she talking about? I don't know. Okay, I don't get what that was. I thought it was just supposed to be some thank yous.
Yeah.
The other thing is, and this is extreme, but as far as going for a younger demographic and getting more eyes on it, I say make it interactive, where you have a running poll of what audiences are voting for.
That would be great, man.
You could call in and put in your vote for things, and it would just show. It's still picked by the Academy, but it just shows audiences who called in favor this.
Yeah,
because there's already people who they have their little Oscar parties, and it's like, oh, a prize if you get the most, but there's got to be some gambling going on, and if you got this running poll, that's opening up to a lot more actual gambling. And that's getting people watching constantly.
The only problem I see with that is that the whole time it's going to be people in the audience seeing if they won. It's just people on their phones the whole time just looking to see how ahead they are.
They'll be checking to see, okay, percentage-wise, the audience is feeling this way, so maybe I got a shot.
But that's, what? They want to appeal to younger people. They're always on their phone. I agree with you, man.
Because it's that whole American Idol thing of people like, all right, now I have a stake in it.
No, I think that's a brilliant idea for them to try. I don't know if they do something like that already, but if not, hey.
But you don't see it flash on the screen.
No. Then, hey, you know what? I think we just solved the problem, Martin. I say this year, let the Oscars burn. Just write that off, man.
Right.
Just write it off.
Yeah, it's too late to do anything.
But between, my recommendations and Martin's very good recommendations, you got it, man. And tell you what, after the Oscars are done this year, take a break, a couple of days, call us. Let's get started on this. We got a whole year to get this thing straight.
Yeah. We can help you guys put it together.
Yeah. If only Martin and I can agree on things. It'll be worse.
We just have to listen to each other.
I don't know if you realize this, but the best part of my day is spending it with you. So let's do that more. Hit that subscribe button and also check out our main site, doubletoasted.com. Over there, you'll find a longer form version of this video, but also the live streams that we do almost every night of the week. Support us at dtmerch.com and remember to always stay toasty.